So pleased to have you with us. John Kennedy, well, let's see, 1960 was, 52 years ago, right now, essentially, gave a speech in which he made this, I'm just going to play this brief comment. He built this whole, all these arguments about we need to do housing and we need to do education and we need to do, we need to care for the weak and the poor among us and all these things. And then he punctuated it with this comment.
I believe for these reasons that liberalism is our best and our only hope in the world today.
There you go. That was John Kennedy running for office in 1960, proudly declaring himself as a liberal. When I hear John Kennedy, one of the people I think of is Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. Congresswoman Schakowsky so ably represents the 9th District of Illinois and holds the values, the traditional values of progressives and liberals so well and does such a marvelous job. She is with us live from the DNC. Congresswoman Schakowsky, and I should say her website is schakowsky.house.gov. It's so great to have you back with us. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so flattered. Thank you. I really appreciate your kind words.
You are genuinely, I don't say this to, you are genuinely one of the finest people in Congress. So anyhow, let's talk about student loans and rising tuition. This is a real crisis right now.
Well, the student loan debt now exceeds all credit card debt, which I find absolutely astonishing, about $1 trillion. And that is such a barrier for our young people to take their rightful place in this 21st century as leaders in our country, because they're so saddled down in debt. And it also limits their choices. It means, can I really go into public service? Is that going to be a career in my life? Can I give back to my community? Can I do Teach for America? I don't know, because I've got this big debt. We do have legislation that would actually make sure that all that debt is not bank debt, but rather the government, that they owe it to the government at lower interest rates, and that it's only for 10 years, and it's only for 10% of your income for 10 years. And if there's still debt remaining, then it would be forgiven. So we have sensible ways to encourage college participation and, make sure the kids get what they need without having lifelong debt.
Yeah, and that's a marvelous first step, and it's one that the Republicans have been blocking for years and years and years. Don't we need to go a step beyond that, though, and have the equivalent of a new GI Bill, or do like so many European countries do? I believe that Israel does. I may be wrong on this, but I believe so. If you give a year of service to your country, whether it's in the military or working for nonprofits, in exchange for that, we'll give you free college education. Some variation on that.
I agree with that, but I do want to inject a warning here. The GI Bill is being exploited by scammers right now who see this pot of money and are going after veterans as they come back, often young veterans who don't have a lot of experience with borrowing, etc., and financial matters. And these can be institutions that they're really not accredited, have a terrible record of giving job placement. Institutions where very few of the students actually graduate, but they end up not only with losing the money from their GI Bill, but end up with debt on top of that. This is not just a couple, but it's a few. It's many of the, not many, but it's enough, too many of the for-profit institutions that are absolutely targeting our GIs. So look out for that, veterans. It's really important.
Yeah, it is, and that and President Obama did successfully sign legislation stopping some of the payday loan scams that were being hitting veterans so hard, didn't he?
We did also manage to make sure that student loan debt on the Stafford loans does not double. The Republicans had to be really dragged into supporting that legislation, but we finally did get it done before our August recess.
Right. What are your thoughts, Congresswoman Schakowsky, on the DNC so far, on Bill Clinton's speech last night, on any, pick your choice. What have you heard that's really pushed your buttons, that's gotten you really excited?
I have to tell you, sitting on that floor through most of the speeches, I just keep thinking, well, this cannot be topped. There's going to, someone's going to underperform, and yet it hasn't happened at all. I mean, everybody, I believe, that I've heard has exceeded my expectations and given a different message. And the one thing about the messages, the Lily Ledbetter, the Sandra Fluke, the young mother whose child has a congenital heart ailment, the union members who and workers who lost their jobs because of Bain, the authenticity of those statements and the resonance they have. Oh, and the dreamers, the dreamer who spoke, leading up to these amazing stars like Michelle Obama and then Bill Clinton. It's just been absolutely extraordinary in getting, I think, the theme of this Democratic Party and the choices that are to be made. Are we all in this together? Are we all in this alone? Am I my brother's keeper?
Right.
Sister Simone, none on the bus?
Yep.
How amazing was that?
Yep.
So I've just been so proud. And sometimes you think, oh, if only so-and-so would have said this or that, and boy, if I were writing that speech. Well, I haven't felt that one single time this convention. I'm always proud and excited.
My friend Tim Carpenter, who co-founded Progressive Democrats of America, pdamerica.org,
right,
and has done a lot of other things in his life, really great stuff. But anyhow, he sent me an email a couple of days ago, or yesterday actually, commenting that it seems that the convention itself is moving the party in a more progressive direction. That the message and the speakers at the convention and the platform, for that matter, are having that effect on members of the Democratic Party. Is that your sense?
I absolutely agree with that. From the party, from the platform at our convention, you're hearing an embrace of the term Obamacare and a robust, not just defense, but excitement over what it really means. I loved when Kathleen Sebelius said, there's only one thing missing from the Ryan and Romney Medicare plan, and that's Medicare.
Yeah.
Because it really does destroy it as we know it, and then this amazing, joyful explanation of what Obamacare really is going to mean for ordinary Americans. Actually, tearful almost, because that young mom saying, what if they repeal it for my little child who has this congenital heart disease? I'll be stuck with lifetime caps and not get that. So just one issue after another. The underscoring how we believe in making it in America, and how Romney is the outsourcer in chief, or the pioneer in outsourcing. I just think the contrast that's been made, but not in a negative and mean and bitter spirit, the kind of thing I heard in Tampa. I went to Tampa, but really in a sense, in a positive and exuberant way. Yeah,
that's marvelous. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, representing Illinois' 9th District, Schakowsky.house.gov. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks so much, Tom.
Keep up the great work, please.